What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we have some very important news, some major news that is just coming out, and I want to break down what is going on because again, this is all starting so soon. But if you can do me a favor, go ahead, hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and we will begin with the updates from this morning. So here's what I can tell you. So we have issues regarding the debt ceiling, regarding the election in 2024, and regarding the U.S. economy. But what's happening right now is everybody is looking at the debt ceiling. Still, we had a bill, it's called the Fiscal Responsibility Act, and it already passed. President Biden has already signed it. The debt ceiling has been suspended until January 1st, 2025. But we have some other issues. First, Speaker Kevin McCarthy has a plan to tackle the debt ceiling crisis from happening again. What he's planning on doing is planning on putting together a commission of both lawmakers and business leaders in order to view the federal budget and determine where we could potentially find some deficit reduction. That's his plan. However, Democrats are extremely concerned with this plan, and they say this is not going to work. As a result, Democrats also have a plan. So here's what we know that came out this morning. This morning, Democrats announced their plan and how it is potentially going to overhaul the debt ceiling process. They say the Debt Ceiling Reform Act, it would provide complete control not to Congress and the White House. It would provide complete control to the Treasury. The Treasury Department would be the only one who can really control the debt ceiling. Okay? Now, keep this in mind. It would allow the Treasury to make all the calls on their own. They would not have to answer to anybody. And the only way the Treasury could be stopped is by Congress. So instead of the Treasury saying, hey, Congress, you need to raise the debt ceiling, the Treasury just continues to raise the debt ceiling, do whatever they want to do, spend the way that they feel they should spend, and Congress could step in and stop them. But that's the only way. Now, in order for Congress to stop them, they would have to they'd have 30 days to pass a joint disproval resolution. That would require, both in the House and the Senate, a 2/3 majority in order to get that passed. Now, why is this such an important thing? Well, first off, this, I believe, the disproval resolution, this was something that was, I believe, introduced in 2011 by Senator Mitch McConnell. And this is so this was a Republican idea, but again, it was a different time. Now, you need to understand what lawmakers are asking for at this time, and for good reason. And it all has to do with the presidential election of 2024. Keep in mind that Democrats are extremely upset with President Biden for agreeing to this bill, agreeing to raise the debt ceiling, agreeing to cuts to, well, pretty much just work requirements, which are essentially going to be some cuts to SNAP beneficiaries, agreeing to give back some of the funding from the IRS and from the pandemic, right? Democrats are upset with that. Republicans are also upset with Speaker Kevin McCarthy because he didn't get the spending cuts, the reductions that he wanted or that Republicans were asking for. Instead, he negotiated with President Biden and found some middle ground, and that's where they settled. So Republicans are extremely upset. Now, passing this bill, though, it would be difficult, because passing a bill that would require a 2/3 majority to overturn calls that are made by the Treasury, this is something that Republicans would be willing to do, but that's if Republicans are going to get more control over the House. They're going to win back the Senate, and again, you want to get to 60. You want to get 60 Republican senators. Okay, you got to get 2/3. And then you also have to win the Oval Office. You have to get a Republican as the president. Okay? This could work. and they would be more willing to work with the idea of a disapproval resolution. But again, it doesn't just stop there. Democrats are also looking at the exact same scenario. How can we go and get more seats in the Senate, win back the House, and keep a Democrat in the Oval Office? That's what they want. So again, you got to keep this in mind, that right now, this idea of a disapproval resolution, it could potentially work, but which party is going to have the control? That's what they're looking at. So this whole thing, and this is where it is all starting, we still have more than a year until the presidential election of 2024. And keep in mind, it's not just the president who's getting elected. Okay? Also people in the House, people in the Senate, they will be elected as well. So, right now it's going to come down to the outlook on the House and the Senate coming into this election. Right now, again, we have until January 1st, 2025 in order to fix this debt ceiling issue. Right now, the debt ceiling is suspended until then. So it's not a pressing issue that we have to get to right now, but many are saying this is something that we should be able to come to an agreement on in 2024. But we'll see. Now, being that the election is going to happen in November of 2024, this is what everyone is looking at. The election is going to be the big thing, okay? But this is also what happened this morning. Something else is playing into this. And it's supposedly going to help Democrats, but we will see. Only time will tell. So this morning, former President Donald Trump was indicted by a federal grand jury on charges related to his handling of classified documents. But what does this mean? Does this mean he cannot run for president? Does this mean that Democrats just got a massive win? Well, here's what this means. Being indicted, first off, doesn't necessarily mean former President Donald Trump is going to jail. In fact, an indictment simply means that there's likely more than enough evidence to move towards charging this person. That's all it really is. Okay, it doesn't mean he's going to jail. But what does this mean for former President Donald Trump actually running for president again? Simply put, President Trump can. There's nothing in the Constitution that says a person indicted cannot run for president. There's only 3 rules in order to run for president, and that is not one of them. Okay? However, Democrats do believe that this could hurt former President Donald Trump's chances of being elected, and this is one of the reasons why they really push forward with it. But at the same time, you probably remember this, we did learn that President Biden did have classified documents. What were they, hidden in the trunk of his car in a garage, right? And so this is something that Republicans have already come out and said this. Even Speaker Kevin McCarthy came out and said that this isn't the end. They are going to go after President Biden as well. So we'll see what happens there. But this is why I bring this up, is because Democrats are already playing this political campaign game. They're doing what they can now, early on, to try to limit other candidates. Because again, over the past few years, I think we can all agree that President Biden hasn't done an incredible job, hasn't fulfilled the promises that he's made, and some people, a lot of people, are very concerned that if he does get another 4 years, what is it going to look like? Now, at the same time, President Biden is already looking into ways that he could improve other things, how he could improve his campaign. Well, one of the ways he's planning on doing that is he is waiting to see the Supreme Court's ruling on student loan forgiveness. And if the Supreme Court blocks him from forgiving up to $20,000 in student loan debt, he has another plan. We do not know exactly what it's going to be, but he has a plan. But Republicans are already arguing that President Biden, if he wins a second term, he's not going to address student loan debt because he won't need to. He's simply going to promise the world and he will likely fall short. That's what they're expecting. So here's what I can tell you. Be ready. Be ready, because what we are seeing right now is all this is already starting to play out. We're already seeing experts telling us that, hey, get ready for this and that, because what lawmakers are planning on doing in order to potentially win their re-election, okay, or try to take back another seat, or try to win the presidency. This is going to impact every single one of us, okay? So, just wanted to fill you in on what happened this morning. That is what we know as of right now. Again, it's all starting, and it's all starting a little bit early, but this is something that we've come to expect because both parties cannot afford to lose any more seats, either in the House or the Senate. So, as soon as we get more information, I promise I will fill you in on all the latest news and updates. Again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I will see you guys on the next one.